Hi, I'm Dorothy Godin, broker through Max Crown Realty here in Sudbury, and welcome to Thursday Thoughts. I just wanted to bring something down to the basics. There's a lot of first time home buyers, and these are people who have not ever been looking for a home. And so I like to set up the process about how a showing works and what to expect, always setting up the expectations so there's no questions. So, you've been pre-approved. We have you on the automatic system, and now there's a couple of houses that you want to see. And here's sort of the basic rundown of how it works. And it may seem very basic, especially for those of you who have worked with me, but it's important to know that when you're a first-time home buyer, this is all very new to you. So the market is still very quick, especially in the five under 500 market. So I wish I could say, a day before we're going to see the house, you could see if you can drive by the neighborhood, because neighborhood is very important, where your house is on the street, what the houses look around you, very important. But because the market, especially in that under 500, is very fast, you usually don't have that opportunity. So when you're meeting me at the house, keep in mind we are booked in half an hour segments. So if we're looking at a house, we would book like between 6 and 6:30, which means we could get there at 6, we could get there at 6:30, especially like if you are seeing more than a couple of houses, sometimes you need some travel time in there. Pre-pandemic, we were booking showings for an hour. Um, but we now have just become accustomed to half an hour showings, and to be honest, it almost sounds insane to me that, we're going to buy a house and we're gonna see it for 20 minutes. Um, I spend more time picking out a shoe and clothes, so it's kind of bizarre, but it is what it is. So, as you're driving into the neighborhood, as you're driving up to the house, I want you to notice these surroundings, and does the surrounding fit with what you're trying to do with your family? Only bring people to the showing who will have influence on whether or not you buy this house. You can't bring 10 friends. If your parents are helping you and they're helping you make a decision, certainly bring them. If you have a friend who is going to help you with the more technical parts of the house, like the plumbing and the electrical work, definitely bring them. But it's not an opportunity for you and your friends to go see houses. When we get to the house, if you have children, I stress that children have to stay with us. And I kind of let kids know, like, if you don't stay with your parents, then you're going to be holding my hand. And actually, some of them kind of don't mind that. But, it's important that we set the expectation for the children that we're at somebody's house and we take off our shoes, we don't touch anything. We don't go into any cabinets or drawers that are not part of the the sale. So, it's very common fridge and stoves become part of the sale. And so by all means, open up the fridge and the stove because they are staying. Open up a kitchen cupboard to see if it's, a soft touch. Absolutely okay. But going into personal things, of course not. And of course the not touching anything, that should definitely be a given. So when we are walking through, I do have this habit where I will talk about things that I see as a negative. And it may be a negative for me. It may not be a negative for you. And I have seen that many times where I will point something out and my people will say, okay, that doesn't matter to us. And that's fine. I just want people to go in with their eyes wide open. Do not be distracted by the decor and the furniture. Some people have the most beautiful furniture and we get stuck looking at the furniture. Try to visualize this as an empty spot and your furniture in there. Keep are talking to a minimal, like nowadays everybody has the door cameras and cameras in the house. Usually they tell us when there's cameras in the house, but sometimes they don't. So I would say, well, we're in the house. Just kind of keep things neutral. We'll point out things to each other that are positive and negative. We'll look at the furnace, we'll look at the electric panel, but we'll keep our heavy conversations um, for when we're back outside. So it's a simple process. It's more about, knowing that you are in someone's home and we have to respect that. please respect the time frame. Many people have gone to a lot of trouble to prepare their houses for sale. They're taking their children out when it's not convenient. And if you're in a busy market, which would be under that 500 market, these people have back-to-back showings and have been out of their house probably for hours. So we have to respect the time. I always tell my people, if you're going to be 5 minutes late, that's not a big deal. If you're going to be more than 5 minutes late, and even if I'm going to be more than 5 minutes late, let's touch base so we can, be on the same page. Um, Other than that, I give you a sheet with the listing information. I encourage you to keep those sheets and make notes because once, let's say we see a house and that house is not for you, I will let you know what that house sold for um, down the road when it does sell. Buying in this market still very frustrating. We're still statistically in a seller's market. We have less than 2 months of inventory. February so far has been a very normal February. Residential sales within the city of Greater Sudbury are increasing as they normally do in the February, and we are maintaining our 500 average sale price. The one big difference I see, as you know, I do stats on Monday, is the average days on the market is getting a little bit longer. So far this month in February, it's 40 days. And that's interesting because it tells me that some of these houses that have been sitting for a little bit are now getting action. I would say typically, when a house goes on the market within 2 weeks, if it's priced right, it's going to get an offer. If it's not priced right, it's going to sit. But now we're seeing even those, houses that are not, beautifully priced are getting some actions, and hence you find that average days on the market now is 40 days. I hope you find this helpful. Please check out my business Facebook page. I do put my newsletter there every month and always update the stats there, usually Monday or Tuesday. As always, you can reach at Dorothy Godin at remax.net or 705-561-2360. Here for you if you need to talk real estate. Have a great week.